I think every entrepreneur I know has had that moment in time when they realize their big project, this big launch or this event, whatever it is that they're so passionate about and they're really excited about, has completely fallen off the rails. You missed a deadline, you forgot a step, or the worst of all worse, your team member falls behind. Well, I have a guest today who's going to help us with some tips on how to not let that happen anymore. So I'll introduce her in a second, but if we're new friends, I want to introduce myself. I'm Melanie Benson, and I'm America's leading small business optimizer. And in this podcast that I have every week, I like to share with you guests, resources, tips, insights on how you can make your business perform so much better by making one small, tiny shift to the way you run it. And my hope is that you can put that into action and it'll help you exponentially grow your impact, your revenues, and your results. And ultimately, I want you to have more time for the fun things in life and the things that you enjoy and that you're really passionate about. So let me introduce my guest today, Sheree Diamond. Now, Sheree is best known as the Flow Doctor. And there's a reason why she's known as the Flow Doctor, because she helps coaches flow into greater success by providing a very valuable resource, online project management services. Now, I know a lot of people, they come to me and they say, Melanie, I need someone to help me with my online business. Melanie, I need someone to help me with the OBM role. Melanie, I need someone to help me, get it all done. And I've recently got to know Sheree, and I just love so much her philosophy and the way she approaches things that I knew she was going to be a great guest to bring on the show today. So thanks so much for being here. We're excited to have you.
Well, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so pivotal moment every entrepreneur faces. They are working so hard, they've got a million projects, and things are breaking down right and left, things are falling behind, they're having this reality, wow, I can't do it all. Why do they turn to you?
Well, they turn to me. Most likely they have a team, at least one person that's working for them. But they're in overwhelm, like you say, they're stressed out, they're spending all their time micromanaging every little detail of these projects. And when you're a coach and an entrepreneur, you have a lot of projects between event launches, product launches, all different things that go on in your business. And you cannot micromanage every little detail, because then it takes away from your time doing other things like working with your clients and making money in your business. So you need someone to oversee that. And also, it's not, it may not be your gift either.
Yeah, it's not my passion.
You have to focus on your gift or your passion. Yeah. So you need to turn that over so that you can work on things that you love and money-producing projects.
Yeah, so well said. And, it's funny, I think you and I talked about this a little bit, but my background when I was in corporate is in project management.
Right.
But being paid to manage projects was never my passion, even at it. But then as I came into business, I didn't see how much it was costing me to do the managing of projects, to lay out everything. And even though I can do it, and I have done it, and there are times when I do need to be able to step in and look at the whole thing, you want to be able to understand it. The ability to have someone else on a day-to-day basis who says, okay, here's where we're at, here's what we need to do, here's how we're going to achieve this, and they're making sure everything's running smoothly. Wow, talk about feeling liberated, and there's just something really expansive about knowing that you can trust the person who's getting things done for you. So we're all so grateful that this is your love and your passion.
That's right.
So what got you into this? How did you come to the place where you wanted to do this for other people?
Well, it's been a journey. And as Steve Jobs always said, everything is a stepping stone that leads you to your future. So years ago, I started as an administrative assistant, executive secretary in New York City. And then I moved, believe it or not, to Anchorage, Alaska.
Ooh, and
wow. And I was a contractor, and I was really good at computers. So I would teach people how to use Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all those programs. And then I moved to Florida, one extreme to the other. And I studied, believe it or not, feng shui. And I started my own business in Florida. I was a single mom. I really want to be home with my kids. And so I wanted to start my own business so I could be there for them. So I learned so much on my journey as an entrepreneur. But I had to do all the things that I'm doing now to help other people, other coaches, because not only was I feng shui consultant, but I also did coaching as well. So that's why my clients really love working with me, because I understand what needs to get done. I know how to do product launches. I know how to do event launches. I know this social media. I know everything that needs to be done that a coach has in their business needs to get done. So I was doing that, but I got burnt out. I was doing that for maybe about 10 years, and I decided I want to be behind the scenes now, but I really want to work with coaches that are making a difference so I can continue making a difference in people's lives. So it's like the domino effect. Mm-hmm. And people always used to ask me, Sheree, how do you do this? How did you do that? So it just came naturally to me, and I always had the gift of being organized and managing projects from start to finish and having them flow easily and staying calm even in the midst of chaos. So I had all those gifts, and so I was not wanting to continue on the path of what I was doing, and I kept praying for guidance and tuning in to my intuition and seeing where to be guided. And then one day I realized this is the next path in my journey. So once I made that decision, clients started coming to me. So I knew I was on the right track, and I'm really enjoying doing this work now.
That really is the test, isn't it? You know, you have to make a decision. Which direction am I going to go? What's the next step? And I know there's usually a lot of fear in that for people. I know there has been for me at times. And then that response back of like, okay, the flow is expanding. I'm getting more clients. Okay, right decision.
Right.
So I think it'd be really helpful if we could maybe pull out a couple of signs that somebody's in the evolution of their business where they really need project management support and someone who can kind of help them manage these different launches and things they're doing. And I'm pretty sure there's some specific signs that there's like the writing on the wall, like, okay, right. You know, danger, danger, you're about ready to go over the edge. So have you noticed some of those as well?
Well, they have to have a steady income flowing in, first of all, to invest. So they most likely, they have at least one team member that's helping them, a VA or administrative assistant. And they have all these things going on that they're managing themselves, and they're working day and night. They're working like at least 80 hours a week when they could be working 40 or 30 hours a week. They're working on their business constantly. They're stressed out, and they're overseeing every little detail of their business, and then it's taking away from them working with more clients and making more money.
Yeah.
So those are clear signs.
Yeah, and I'll throw in there too that I would like someone to look at, are you sitting there and from start to finish you have to map out every single step of your project plan? Or even worse, you're keeping it all in your head. And so, you know, you're like, oh, okay, VA, can you do this piece? Oh, graphic artist. Oh, I need this tomorrow. You know, there tends to be this real, either you're doing it in your head or you're responsible for all of it, or you're forgetting steps. And it's causing other people that you're working with to have to double up or work faster or do emergency steps. I think that's a huge sign.
Yes,
you really need someone to step in and take control of the flow, as you call it, of the or the workflow, because you will burn out your team and burn yourself out when you're always running in that mode.
Right. Not only are you creating the projects or creating the content for the event, but you're having to worry, like you said, about all the little details and all the little steps. And then, like you said, you'll miss things.
Yes.
And then your business suffers.
Yeah, and by the way, that's because this is not your core genius in the world. And we're not expecting you to be good at it. This is really a sign that it's time to delegate and you know, be supported in this way. This will allow you to expand your impact and your reach and to get more done. And
Right.
I just love the idea of being able to bring in experts or a team member to do these things. So,
Right. I remember Henry Ford reading about him, and he said he didn't want to learn everything in his business. And what made him most successful is that he hired people
mhm.
that specialized in certain things that he didn't even want to specialize in.
Yeah. So I like to think of this role having some tricks. There's some I don't know, they're not really secrets, but it's like the tricks of the trade, right? It's like these are the things we know have to be done. I say we because I know how to do, project management and I've done it for
Right.
so long. But it's almost like when you reveal this to your client or you tell them like, look, if you did it this way, you would have so much more time. And it's almost like this, this moment where
Light
they're like, the
bulb.
light
Yeah.
bulb goes off. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I had no idea that it could be
That's right.
simpler or it could be
Right.
easier or, that you could do this for me. Do you have one of those that if we shared it with people, it would be a real light bulb moment for them today on how they could really get more flow in their projects?
Well, to back up what you said first is that just like with coaching, you can't see your own blind spots.
Yes.
So same with project management, you can't see your own blind spots of how things can be made easier and flow easier in your business. So it's important to have an outside person looking in to enlighten you and shine the light on what can be done easier because you can't see it all when you're in it. You can't see it. Just like if you have, let's say, a decorator come to your house, you can't see what it could be. So one of my gifts is being able to see the big picture, and I'm a visionary, so I can see what it could be and then map everything out.
And I know one of the blind spots I had for many years, and I'm assuming you run into this, is that oftentimes we're trying to get way too much done in way too short a period of time. And
Yes.
many people have seen on the podcast series or in one of my trainings when I talk about the on-time results model. How do you conquer that with someone who is used to like trying to throw everything they can into, this 24 or hour period or this 7-day period, and you're like, hello, this is not working for you.
Right. Well, we'll have weekly calls to discuss your vision,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can plan out and map everything out. And then we have a time schedule, and then I can send my clients reminders of what needs to be done when.
Yeah.
So it runs very smoothly that way. And then there's no last minute things that need to be done, no panic.
Right. And
Yeah.
if I remember correctly from some of our conversations, you actually can work within another person's team. So if they've already got team members to help make sure that people are staying on track within the team. Is that correct?
Absolutely. That's a big part of it. They have a team or at least one person, and then I oversee everything so that you, as a business owner, you don't have to worry about that because you can delegate, but that does not mean that it gets done right. So now you have someone to oversee everything to make sure it gets done right from start to finish.
Mhm. Yeah, and interestingly enough, that is the number one complaint that entrepreneurs say. I didn't want to become a manager, right? Like, that's not the best use of me. I hate having to track people down. I
That's
hate
right.
trying to figure out what needs to be done next. And so being able to have some support with that is it's a real boost of confidence and courage that
Right.
many of us need to be able to take these big leaps and accomplish bigger dreams. Is okay, I'm not going
Right.
to have to figure it all out.
Right. Right. So it's a matter of me building trust with my clients so that they can then let go of more and more and more and then turn it over to me. So they feel a lot lighter.
Mm-hmm.
They feel confident that their business is flowing and running properly. And then they can spend time on doing things that they love to do and money producing projects.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm going to imagine that on your journey, you've had your fair share of ups and downs and things that have broken down for yourself. And you actually run a team yourself, right? So you use this technique all the time, whether it's for your clients or for yourself. What's been one of your greatest challenges that you've had to sort out to make you a stronger support system for your clients?
Well, pushing myself out of my comfort zone, being able to, that's just a little bit. Yeah,
Where do you get comfortable, Sheree? I'm curious. Like what is that thing that holds you in?
Well, I just have to focus on that I am serving, being of service, and helping my clients, and I partner with my clients so that I treat their business like if it were my own. So then if I have to tell one of their team members that the job wasn't done right, or you need to step it up, or you need to work faster, so I could do that now, because even though I felt uncomfortable about it, it's really necessary, because I want everything to run smoothly in my client's business.
Can I just do something with that for a second? Because this is powerful. I'm
Sure.
going to imagine that by nature, you see yourself somewhat a supporter, right? Like we don't end up in the coaching field if that's not part of our makeup. But the interesting thing about for supporters is they're really uncomfortable in most of the time with conflict or feeling like they have to challenge somebody, right? That's not necessarily our makeup. I'm a supporter too, so I relate to this. So I think it's really awesome that you, first of all, are sharing this with us, and secondly, that you really saw that that's your comfort zone. Like we want to make everybody all safe and happy, and when I'm going to get results. Yeah, aim to please, absolutely.
People please. A lot of people have that people pleaser syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Want to be liked.
Yeah. And here's what I tell people when I teach people how to hire the right people for the roles they need in their business. One of the things I say is when you're going to hire a project manager, you need somebody who gets that support energy, but can override it with process and results. And I love that you've nailed that, because I get that about you, is you've really nailed that. So that is a real asset to the people you serve.
Thank you, Melanie.
And so, on the other side of it is, I know that we all have to figure out the thing that we do well, or the thing that's going to make our business perform well, and really figure out how to optimize it and make it work well, or perform better. Have you found something in your business that, besides focusing on your genius, but something that helps make your business perform better?
Well, I feel like when I work with my clients, I make them feel like I'm a partner, like I said, with them, and then I'm there to be of service, and also to get to know them as a person and build that trust. So when we have that trust, things go much better with the relationship and with the business, and also building the trust with the team members. I feel like it's important to compliment instead of picking on things all the time.
Yeah.
Is to point out all the good things that people do, because when you praise people, you raise. When you praise, you raise. A friend of mine said that.
That's a great
saying. And I love that. When
you
praise, you raise. So I think that really is important.
So I want to talk about technology and software. Do you find that there's some technology that is really essential to making this part of the business work better when you're going to have a project manager, and also just, getting your projects to run more smoothly?
Yeah. Basecamp. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
So that's really great for project management, so that I can have the team members in there, just put anything in and click on who needs to do what. The projects are there. It makes things run smoothly.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of project management software, finding something that works for you and your team.
Right. Yeah.
Cool. And I want to kind of take this slightly different direction, but, when you're working with clients, and you've seen, entrepreneurs and their patterns, and, we all kind of have some similar tendencies. Is there something you typically will focus in on first with your client to help them really optimize their results?
Well, we would have conversations and to see where the weak points are in their business and the strong points, and what we can do together to really optimize the business the best way possible. So really delving into the core of the business and me learning about the business and what's working and what's not working, and then me coming up with ideas and a plan on what can I help the client with so that we can improve the way things are run so that things run more smoothly.
Do you find it's better to focus on fixing problems first,
No.
or the
Well,
growth
finding
first?
solutions.
Yeah.
Finding solutions. Because if you still have the problems, then how is your business going to grow? So I don't like to focus on problems. I like to focus on solutions instead.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I ask that because I know that's a struggle point for a lot of people. It's like, okay, I've got these challenges, but I also want to grow. But these things aren't working. But I got all these ideas, right? And
Right.
it's like,
Well,
where
you
do
have to start with the foundation.
Yeah, you gotta heal the cracks, if you will,
That's right.
and make sure everything's really solid, and then you can grow much more successfully. And
Right.
I think a lot of people try to fill the cracks by growing instead of
and then they
Yes.
crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
so you
eventually
always have
will
to
crack.
build work from the ground up.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew
Yeah.
we were on the same page there. So I always like to ask my guests if they have a favorite mantra or quote.
There's so many.
Yeah,
but,
I know. I have tons of them too.
Yeah. I just feel that people should have positive self-talk.
Mm-hmm.
That's so important. So the positive mindset. What I learned through my journey is entrepreneurs can know all the strategies and have all the skills, but if they do not have the right mindset, their business will not be successful or as successful as it could be.
Absolutely.
So that is something that really is important. And I think we spoke about that when we first met, is that you help people with the mindset also, which is really great because I have seen a lot of business coaches that don't address that, and then their clients just are not successful.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to evolve in a positive way when your head is full of all that trash, you know?
Right.
So,
I know you like that expression, head trash.
Yeah. So if we could leave people with one positive thing, positive action, positive thought, positive framework, because I like to think of, we're all creating this framework for how we live and make decisions in. What's one positive thing you could leave somebody with today to really help them get into this flow that they need to get into with their work and their projects?
Well, to let them know that there is a way out of the overwhelm. There is help out there, and you need to take action now because, as Einstein said, if you keep doing what you keep doing the same way, you're going to get the same results, and nothing is going to change. So you have to take the leap and get someone on your team, like myself, to help you relieve all that stress and overwhelm, and you'll feel so much lighter, and your business will just take off by leaps and bounds.
Well said. I'm glad you took it that direction because you're right. You've got to be willing to do something drastically different if you want drastically different results.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Sheree, let's remind everybody where they can find you. If you could share the best website for you and just point them towards something that they want to learn more about project management and or, hiring you to support them with this journey.
Okay. They can reach me at theflowdoctor.com, TheFlowDoctor.com, and I have lots of information on my website about what I do and project management. You can even sign up for a complimentary consultation with me to see if we're a good fit. And I also offer a free special report that you can opt in for, and I'd love to get to know you and help you. So,
great, thank
you. And I'm also on Facebook, The Flow Doctor. I have a page on there too.
Yeah, and I don't even remember where we originally connected, if I found you on Facebook or someplace else, but you put out some great tips and insights, very much in alignment with what I teach, so it's Melanie approved. No, seriously though, she's got great resources great insights. And, I feel there's a definite synergy in the way you are supporting people is the way I want my clients to be supported. So I really appreciate how you're doing that in the world. And I want to encourage you to head over to theflowdoctor.com, grab the free report. It's powerful insight, especially if you've been in that space where things are breaking down or you're looking for that next way to really grow and evolve. That doesn't mean just you. I mean, really at a certain point, you've got to let go to grow. And
absolutely. I love that.
Yes.
It's catchy. You
Not mine.
Let go to grow. Yeah.
Not mine. Don't know where I first heard it, but it's absolutely true. And
it's
it's the thing that will truly propel you the fastest is when you surround yourself with great people who are passionate about you being successful. So, and I'd love to hear, as you're listening in today, was there an aha moment, something that you're excited about or inspired by in today's show? If you're here on the blog already, just put it in the comments. I know Sheree and I would both love to hear it. And if you're joining us from iTunes or Stitcher Radio or one of the other sites, head on over to melaniebensonstrick.com. Just look for the blog. And you can, if the episode is passed, you can just search for it real quick. And we would love to hear your comments. So
absolutely.
Thanks for being here. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next week for another great episode. And thank you so much, the Flow Doctor, for being here.
Thank you, Melanie.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.